outflows from the Muni-market. The investment company Institute, just one of several that tracks outflows, saying we saw the biggest outflows in Muni since mid-December. Look, is this just a seasonal issue or is there something more going on here?
Well, we think it's primarily a seasonal issue. The last week's outflow was fairly large, but you would expect that for the week of tax day, the week around tax day. We had about 6 weeks of outflows so far, and this report that we'll get tonight for the current week will probably show another spate of outflows, but it's not unusual for tax time. It was a little early this year. We usually get our outflows the 2 weeks before tax day. That's when they usually start. This year they started the first week of March, and that coincided with very heavy equity inflows. So we were concerned that a pattern may be developing because there is an inverse relationship between what happens to muni bond fund flows versus what happens to equity bond fund flows, or equity fund flows rather. So we're watching that pretty closely. So far the outflows have been relatively orderly and manageable. They haven't been eye-popping by any stretch of the imagination. So we'll see what happens this current report and more importantly next week's report to get a real sense of whether the outflows will continue.
What's your sense on what investor appetite is going to look like going forward?
Well, you know, we've got some very strong redemption months coming up. So June and July in particular are going to be very large coupon payment and principal redemption months. So we don't think volume will be anywhere near the estimated $45 billion in coupon payments and principal redemptions both in July and June. So we'll be in a very strong technical position. We'll definitely be in a seller's market in June and July. So we think that buyers will recognize this, and if they are inclined to enter into the muni market, they certainly will do it in the spring rather than waiting for that very strong seller's market in the summer.